Good morning, Grand Rising. Happy Tuesday, May 20th. Everybody coming to you live. If you're watching the recording, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share this training with your fellow solarpreneurs. It's good to be with you in this sunny, beautiful day here. And of course, I'm joined with my co host, Tom Cotter. Happy Tuesday, Tom. How are you?
Happy Tuesday. Hey, I'm doing pretty good because we did not get taken out by a tornado last night. Prayers for all of the crazy weather around the Midwest, where I'm located. But we did lose power. But some scary storms going around the Midwest right now.
Wow. Yeah, I hope everyone's good. One last storm and freeze and rain before the summertime, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into success stories here in just a second. So if you can, please start thinking of any wins, any successes. Did you sign a deal? Where did you get the lead from? Did you present a proposal? Did you get an ambassador signed up? Did you recruit someone to this free platform that we have? So raise your hand, type it in the chat. I want to hear some successes. And I'm going to share a personal success here because I just got back from Mexico yesterday. And this one's special because one of the top Nevada sellers named Troy Combs. Where is Troy Combs in this picture? He's back here with the gray hat. He found me 2 years ago on YouTube because him and his business partner wanted to add solar to their business offering. And he joined up, and shortly after his business partner, Nat, his best friend, father figure, mentor, business partner, passed away from a heart attack. And that's Debbie, the wife of Nat, who passed away. Nat was a home builder in Nevada. He built hundreds of thousands of homes. Troy made this custom metal placard with Nat Hodgins, I believe, for this family. So this home, you can see here for the mom, the son, the two amazing daughters, and the father back here, is donated in Nat's honor. And so there's a lot of power, a couple power people in this picture. So this house was dedicated yesterday morning to this amazing family. And this, of course, is Prosperity Homes, Giving Business Soul. This is what the impact journeys are all about when we do our next impact journey with Powur. So that's my quick share success story win, how we can change lives and impact people here. And now we'll move on to two or three success stories and shares and wins from the group. So come off a mute, raise your hand, type it in the chat. I know there's a few out there, guys, so don't be shy. Don't make me
I'll
call on
jump in here. I don't know if anybody was on Power Hour last night. David Ringo is here. He presented last night, did an amazing job. He's so good. But Craig Bloom and Bill Conley were interviewed last night on Power Hour as well. So just fun to see my whole team, being represented on Power Hour, and just proud of you guys and happy for you guys in your own businesses and work and what you're doing. Cool stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for stepping up and doing those interviews and leading the charge there, David, for sure. Chris Collier signed a contract this morning, signed up a setter yesterday, funded a customer commission to contribute $250 to Home Prosperity Home Builds. Thanks, Chris. That's amazing.
That's
Appreciate
cool.
that.
Love it.
In the last week, Cynthia has signed 2 contracts for me, so leads that I entered that I want her to work, and she signed 2, and we should have another close coming here in the next few days as well. So shout out to Cynthia and getting contracts in. Well, there's not enough success stories today, but we will keep it moving. let's go ahead and go to Tom's share of the week.
Thanks, Jonathan. Before we get into today's strategy, I wanted to show you a short reel. So I think about all of you guys as I'm watching reels online. This explains something that I think that every top salesperson or appointment specialist needs to master. So Jonathan, if you can play that for us.
So about 15 years ago, I had a mentor tell me a story about what separates salespeople who earn $250,000 a year or more. And this might be more legend than truth because I could never find this story, but he told me that in the late 80s or early 90s, there was a university study that did a study on what separates salespeople who earn 250 grand a year or more. Now in today's dollars, that's $611,000 per year. That is king and queen money. And as the story he told me goes, they couldn't find any differences, or rather any commonalities between those people, right? What was their commonality? They couldn't find anything. They all had common sales or different sales approaches, different personalities, that kind of thing. Except for one thing. They found that every single salesperson who earned 250 grand a year or more had one thing in common, and that was speed of implementation, which basically means the time that elapsed between learning something and applying that thing was very, very short for those people. They aimed to close the delta of time between learning and applying. That's why they called it speed of implementation. Meanwhile, all of their lesser earning friends would learn something and convince themselves maybe it wasn't for them and dabble and putter around and kick a rock down the street. And maybe a week later or so, they'd feebly give it a try. Meanwhile, these super earners would have tried it 4, 5, or 6 times already. They would learn something new and then bam, put it to use. Okay, so that's a useful story. That is an indicator of what you can do to maximize your income potential and your earning capacity.
So that's the difference. The top earners don't overthink it. They move on it. They take action. They shorten the time between learning and doing. And that's what today is about too. You know, we're facing a major shift. The 30% federal tax credit for solar ownership could disappear in 7 months. That creates urgency for homeowners who want to go solar with a cash or loan. And right behind that, another wave of opportunity with leases and PPAs. So your action item on this perspective is to do the stuff we talk about today. Don't wait until it's clearer. Don't wait for a decision from Washington. Start using this urgency in your conversations today on calls, on messages, on the door. So shorten the delta, and that's how you win faster. Jonathan, back to you.
Tom, you're so smart. I don't care what anybody says about you. I think you're a great guy.
They say a lot, don't they?
Well done, Tom. Well done. All right. It's almost like you used to be a pastor or something.
Something
All
like
right. Future trainings, everybody. Future trainings. Tuesday and Thursdays is our live TPO lease PPA workshops. Might become more important next year, like Tom said. That's with Monty and Matt Gordon. And then May 24th, this Saturday, myself, Zach Bach, Eric Goldstein, Justin Lonson, powerhouse people, EXP realtors, HVACs. We're going to be live in headquarters this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12. So invite people there, get your butt there, tell others around there to come join us, invite your guests there, run an ad to salespeople and real estate agents to come to headquarters May 24th. And then June 2nd, this is brand new. Monty is running a Power Up launch next Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific, to get all of our setters the basic solar knowledge and action steps to get move in and be successful. And then there's a Power Up handoff Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific next week. So those are huge. If you're recruiting, if you want passive income, if you want lead gen, you should be recruiting setters and invite them to those two events. And then June 4th, Colby West here and Melissa Dawson will be running our Las Vegas Powur 4.0 launch in person live from our best installer, RG Electric, in Las Vegas. Colby may have an Eventbrite he can put in the chat, and that's 6 o'clock Pacific in Las Vegas as well. So that's going to be another chance to grow. Also, I want to say one thing pretty quickly here. If you're a California resident, Powur will be opening up the ability for you to become a W-2 licensed seller in Nevada. To date, we've only preferred Nevada residents, but Powur will be opening up to California residents to become W-2 to sell in Nevada as well. And then please mark your calendar for June 7th. Let's make this the biggest Super Solar Saturday ever. 9 a.m. Pacific to 1 o'clock. Training with Charles, training with other top leaders. I should be on stage as well. And we even got Danny Pesci to drop 20 minutes of just fire training for you guys. June 7th. So attend, invite, and recruit around this event, guys. If you join us, Mr. Person, Lady Guy, you can attend this Solar Saturday virtual training. We even have Danny Pesci training us live virtual. So June 7th. And of course, don't forget your market development meetings. Let's take a quick peek at the newsletter before we jump into today's training. So the newsletter you got yesterday is Jonathan Budd's address and motivation. So make sure to read that. And even the newsletter mentions the investment tax credit, urgency. Then we have a building with Bobby, May 23rd in 3 days. And Van Dang. This guy's amazing. He had 40 to 60 setters, recruits, real estate agents in one office and got everyone to sign up as setters and got multiple sales out of this one event. So we want to hear his secrets to success there. Memorial Day is coming up this weekend, so there's going to be some holiday hours to be mindful of. We mentioned Monty's special Power Up training next week, Monday and Wednesday. We mentioned Solar Saturday, June 7th. The Setters Surge schedule. Shout out to Melissa Dawson, Jeff Martin, and other leaders leading this. These are ongoing trainings for setters. So the calendar changed, and now they're focused on specific events. Again, if you're inviting setters, Uber drivers, realtors, salespeople, anyone looking for side income to join under you and make passive income, or if you're a closer, get lead gen, you need to invite them to Setter Surge and Power Up trainings.
And I'll just jump in real quick here. So the flow for this now is on Monday, new setters are attending the launch. On Wednesday, they're attending the handoff. Those are the Power Up launch, Power Up handoff. And then after that, they're moving into one or more of these Setter Surge events that has to do with their method of lead generation and booking appointments.
I love that. Yeah. There's so much abundance of training, and we've literally had 1,000 to 2,000 people join Powur in the last 60 to 90 days. So these trainings are very important. Please push any setters or new recruits to join these trainings. Powur business presentation in Carlsbad, live at headquarters this Saturday. Health insurance. I pay $300 a month to have health insurance with Powur in Clearwater. So if you don't know about that, check that out. And that's such an amazing recruiting tool. If you can, just type any questions in the chat and we'll get some leaders to answer your questions. Contest results, Powur Hour, and so much more here in the newsletter. And let's go ahead and continue on to the social media shareable of the day. So I went ahead and put it in the chat already. of course, today's social media shareable is going to be regarding the training we're doing today. So take a minute, save this image. It's in the chat right now. And save the image. Get that script that I just put in the chat and post it on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everybody. So it says the 30% tax credit could go away end of 2025. On average, the tax credit is $9,000 to $14,000. This is an image that ChatGPT made and a script that they made for me in literally 1 to 2 minutes this morning. So don't overcomplicate it. Make it your own, put your own personalization on it. Post multiple times about the tax credit could go away. And we're going to explain what we mean for that in just a second here. All right, so I'll go ahead and start off the training today. Today we're talking about the investment tax credit. The Inflation Reduction Act extended the 30% federal tax credit for many years, and it was going to phase down in 2035. But there is a bill that's on the table that's called the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's serious. That could be eliminating the 30% federal tax credit for homeowners' residential solar by the end of the year. So we're going to talk about what to do and what is next for the industry. This is big, everybody. I can't express to you, this is likely the biggest thing that's happened to solar in maybe my 10-year solar career. This is huge. Before I kick it off here, Tom, I'll go through where the bill is at and what are next steps, but did you want to add anything?
Just as of yesterday, I know that you're going to say this, but it's sometimes good to hear stuff in different ways twice. So the latest update is that the bill has moved out of the budget committee and is expected to go to the House floor this week. And members of the Freedom Caucus have indicated that they want even deeper savings by eliminating energy tax credits even earlier than proposed. So as we're talking about this, if you hear things in the news or social media that it's worse than what we're talking about today, that's kind of a normal process of how a bill is made. It's kind of a normal process of negotiation. So what we're talking about today, things can change a bit, but don't be expected if what comes out at the other end looks kind of similar to what we've got right now. Or hopefully, fingers crossed, better than what we've got right now, right?
Right. Yeah, the bill still has a lot of steps to make it. There could be revisions, there could be timelines changed, but plan for the worst and, hope for the best. So let me go ahead and explain. Like Tom said, the House and Ways Means Committee on May 14th met and approved a budget package, which includes a very small provision, huge for us, but small in this bill, to terminate Section 25D at the end of 2025. The 30% tax credit is residential, is 25D. And that's nearly 10 years before its current expiration. You can talk to ChatGPT about this, have a conversation, learn more, Google it. So the bill narrowly advanced the House after negotiations with Republicans who previously blocked it. There is still a good amount of Republicans that are not in favor of this. So the next steps here, the legislation is expected to proceed to the House Rules Committee for further amendments, but before a potential floor vote to hold before the Memorial Day recess. So we could have another update here by next week. While the bill has cleared initial hurdles in the House, it remains uncertain due to some division and potential resistance. It will be determined through ongoing negotiation and amendments in the coming weeks. I'm pretty optimistic, by the way. If you saw Jonathan Budd's video from headquarters, he's optimistic. I think Powur is well positioned to capitalize on this, and we can help people and help others and add products with our platform. So I actually am quite optimistic about the future for us and other products and virtual power plant and other additions coming. All right, so to get specific, the commercial section of the investment tax credit, section 48, would have a phase down from 2029 to 2031, ending in 2032. Leases and PPAs, power purchase agreements, rentals, leases, do have a future if this bill passes and at the end of the year the residential solar tax credit is gone. Leases and PPAs would become the dominant only thing that would potentially be able to be sold. And that's because the commercial section of the investment tax credit is not being affected. So again, Powur is thinking about different products. Could we pilot commercial? Could we focus on lease PPA? We're already pretty good at it. Could we do roofing standalone as a commissionable product for the sales force? So the board and Jonathan is already ahead of this. Ownership could still make sense in markets like Hawaii and California. We're not certain about the lenders, if they will continue to lend or not, or maybe credit unions and small banks will become more prominent, but ownership may make sense primarily in Hawaii and California, are the highest utility rates in the industry. And, you know, I have that note here that the Powur platform, like Jonathan Budd said, there are lots of companies, guys and gals, that are too small to have a partnership with LightReach. They're too small to get onboarded with GoodLeap for leases and PPAs. There's 20,000 installers across the entire country, and a lot of them, if not most of them, do not have a lease PPA provider. What does that mean? They will need to onboard with Powur to originate deals and use our lenders. So we thankfully have Sonova. Wow, I just said Sonova. Forget Sonova. We thankfully have LightReach. We thankfully have GoodLeap for lease PPA, and we even have Enfin, the 3 strongest TPO providers. So I really do think that's an opportunity for the Powur platform. And again, we can add roofing standalone. We could pilot commercial. Eventually, maybe a year or two, we could add HVAC. We're looking into partnerships around virtual power plants, adding batteries only in some deregulated markets. More to come on that in the next 30 to 60 days. I can't say too much, but it's super exciting. The different products and things that are going to be coming with the Powur platform.
And I'll just jump in. For those of you who were at Leadership Summit back in February, we talked about this, right? And this, nobody wants this to happen, but it's not a surprise that it's happening, because it's been an option that we could see. So, like Jonathan said, we're on top of this, and Powur is uniquely positioned in the industry to be able, I call it to be able to be a life preserver for thousands of solar installers and sales orgs and reps that don't have a good place to do what they want to do, and Powur can help provide that for them.
Right. Exactly. And we have to do our part. We need more front end growth. We need more contracts. We need to turn up the sales this summer to keep Powur profitable and healthy. So guys and gals, we need to turn up sales, period. Do what you need to do and use this as an opportunity to hit every single person as hard as you can. So
and one of the things that does too is, the flywheel effect. For those of you who have been around for a few years, that's what happens with more volume, is that we can get better pricing. We can push our finance partners for Other options, things like add-on systems in California, and prepaid PPAs and leases, things like that, and other creative things that these finance companies are thinking about right now. And as we've got more volume with them, we've got more leverage to make those kinds of requests for things that we want from them.
Exactly. So, and again, we're planning for the worst here. Fingers crossed. We have to get loud. I'll let Tom take over here in a minute, and he can talk about the different ways that we can get loud, the different organizations fighting this, the different websites you can sign up and have everyone sign up now to reach out to your local representative. But we must get loud, and we're going to prepare for the worst, but there's still revisions and many things that are going to happen here. Okay. So what to do now? If you look at my Facebook page, I already put the social media shareable of the day up there. I'm going to be putting it on LinkedIn, and I'm going to be doing it multiple times. I'm going to be doing an email and text campaign. Powur has already helped us out. So I'm going to pull up an email here. If you guys look at the screen, Powur has emailed some of our clients that have not signed up, saying now's the time to go solar, lock in the 30% solar savings. A bill being proposed could eliminate the 30% tax credit this December. Go solar now, and they will include your sales rep here with the information. So shout out to Powur for already sending this out to tens of thousands of leads on our behalf, everyone. So now's the time to follow up with every single unsold lead you've ever spoken to, period, and blast on social media. Let your BNI networking chamber groups know about this. You should be talking about this every other day, in my opinion. And then it must be installed by 2025 per the tax code. If this passes, per the tax code, placed in service. Most people recognize the active installation being turned on, being tested as the qualifying act. So some markets can take 90 days in California. And this might be the biggest ramp up in 6 months we've ever seen in our lives, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, if we play our cards right, if this passes, I actually kind of don't want it to, but if it does, this could literally be the time to make 6 figures in 5 months, or multiple 6 figures. So email text campaigns must be installed by 2025. Average tax credit can be anywhere from $6,000 to $9,000, $12,000 to $14,000 when you purchase it. So lock in the tax credit and net metering now. In markets like Nevada, the net metering is changing by October. In other markets, net metering is changing. Massachusetts is an amazing net metering market, and the grandfather clause is 20. So we're not just talking about a tax credit. We're also talking about locking in the net metering. It's two birds, one stone here kind of opportunity. So take advantage of it. And the last thing I have before I turn it over here to my amazing friend, Tom Cotter, again, just ask ChatGPT any of these questions, any of these thoughts. Ask for an email script to send to your clients. So here is an email script to incentivize my unsold leads to get off their butt, to send to my clients, hey, this is happening, refer me someone and earn $1,000, right? Everybody should be hit multiple times on this. And if you heard Tom's video in the beginning, take action now and do it 4 to 5 times till you figure it out. And here's 2 text message scripts that chat wrote out for me. Tom, you'd be proud of me because I created projects in chat, solar email communications.
Look at that. You got folders.
Tax credit 25D. I hit my project and I just continue my conversation that I've been having with chat here in these projects. So it's a big step for me in the right direction. Tom, I'll let you take it away here as I'm partially traveling, but
Yeah.
I hope that resonates with a lot of you, how important this is. And let's see how we can get our voice heard. If you can drop in the chat that website, Tom, and get us into how we can kind of help fight against this as well. I think that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
thanks, Jonathan. A good overview, and it's a deep topic to get into. So you did a good job at not getting in the weeds too much there. So good job. I think the number one action item for email campaigns is one that I'll put in the chat right now, and I'll just mention, personalizing emails. It's going to have a canned email response when you go to that link. If you copy that, put it into Chat GPT and say humanize it, and give it a little bit of information about the work that you do, it will personalize that email in less than 30 seconds for you. That will be more meaningful than just sending a canned email, but sending a canned email is better than not doing anything, right? You can see the information that I put there, but the other thing is, the number two thing is to reach out to elected officials and to let them know how important the 24D tax credit is for you, your business, your community. If you are reaching out to elected officials, you can focus on jobs, economic impact, and cheaper electricity. And I'm going to post something else in the chat for you with exactly what I just said, and a link to where you can find your member of Congress. So these are two different action items. One is sending an email, hopefully a customized email. The other one is reaching out to a member of Congress. I posted it earlier, but I will share it again here, is the target list. So we've got certain members in the House and the Senate that are the primary targets that we want to reach out to and get messages to, the ones that we need to swing in our favor for 24D. So if if there is somebody that is in your district, your representative there on the House or the Senate, definitely send them a message. Okay, if your guy, your gal is on this list, send them a personalized message. Reach out to their office. If you don't know what to say, reach out to one of us and we can help you with some talking points about that. But exactly what I said earlier about focusing on jobs, economic impact, and cheaper electricity, and how it impacts your customers, your business, your company, and so on. The other thing is that if you want to be involved at a higher level with this kind of stuff, to kind of be in the loop, getting the latest information, rather than just kind of relying on what comes out in the news, the Residential Solar Association that I'm a part of, we put together a 25D fence coordination list, and you can sign up for that. The link is in the chat. You can share it with other people who are in the industry. We're meeting every Thursday right now. So the Solar Energy Industry Association, National Solar Lobby Group, is meeting every Monday. And then our group at the Residential Solar Association is meeting every Thursday. So we've got kind of beginning of the week and later on in the week, just to try to stay up to date, because this stuff is ever developing over the last few weeks, at least. Any questions about those things? I know, David, you've got your hand up. Happy to, there you go. That's that first link, Defend American Energy. David, you had a question?
Yes, Tom, I have have a slide I'd like to share with you. I was just at a SIA conference last week in Florida and had some numbers that were pretty astounding. So is it okay to share a slide real quick?
Yes, let me open that up for you.
Should be good.
Thank you.
There you go.
So there was a lot of information shared. One of the guys that's heavily involved with Florida is Chris Castro. And if you guys have heard that name, he's one of the original founders for Climate First Bank. So he's a really good friend of mine. He worked the last 4 years as a He was a DOE appointee from the last administration, and he shared some slides that were pretty impressive. This one is very, very impactful, and I think this is something that you should somehow incorporate in the emails that you guys are putting together if you're all emailing your representatives. The private sector built 176 plus solar manufacturing, solar chain factories in the United States. And I don't know about you, but factories don't have one person working at them. They have hundreds or thousands of people working there. It's equal to about $1 trillion in private sector investment since the IRA, and the domestic module manufacturing capacity grew 190% year over year from 14.5 gigawatt at the end of 23 to 42.1 gigawatt to the end of 24. These are just some stats that you guys can do with what you want. There's some other slides in there. I thought this is the most impactful one. There's a lot of stuff in there about production, but we all know how much production has gone up. But think about the amount of investment, $1 trillion in private sector investment. And these are built for long runways of that ITC being there. If that ITC is cut short and they tumble, you're talking bankruptcy, you're talking people losing millions, if not, hundreds of millions of dollars, people losing jobs and affecting families all over. So I just thought I wanted to share that with you. If you guys want more information on that, I have tons of these type of slides that I got from last week. I don't have the actual presentation, I just have pictures of them, but I just wanted to share that with you guys if you want that information. So
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't know already, you can just copy and paste those pictures into ChatGPT when you're asking it to rewrite your email, and it'll take that information and dump it into your email. So it'll read those pictures. There was somebody else. Colby, did you have your hand up?
I know Rick and Carlos wanted to share.
Okay.
Sorry, I put the hand down earlier, but if you guys are still there, we're definitely want to do open discussion and office hour here to continue this topic.
Carlos may be walking to his laptop right now.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Sorry, I'm stepping back. I have a couple guys here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jonathan, Tom. Thank you, guys. Hey, so Rick was here. He had to jump over to another call, but I have my team here on the Centric Coast, set of knockers. There's 4 of them. I think there's normally 7 or 8 of them, but I think they're in between running appointments and just whatever. But I wanted to chime in a little bit, but for those that haven't kind of met me, or I just want to be in on the call, I've been in the solar industry for 13 years, and I think what we call the solar coaster. Prior to NEM 3, I've realized when the tax credit was at 26%, and they were saying it was decreasing to 22%, that it actually increased to 30%. So what that did for us, and again, going back to that, is it creates urgency. For a guy that knocks doors for a living with multiple different, females and males, we're going to people and offering them something that they might not even be interested in or even know. So if you're creating a big urgency by utilizing that tax credit to say X, Y, and Z, just give us a 15 to 20 minute consultation to help you out. For the people that are doing this virtually, that's also, it's huge. I just kind of wanted to really touch on that. I know that being in the industry and as a door knocker, a guy that knocks doors and does blitzes in different cities and even states, it's crucial. And I think with the Powur platform, there's no other family behind us that's going to do whatever they can to set us up for success, not failure.
Well said. Well said, Carlos. Hi, gentlemen on the couch.
How's it going? Hi there.
Yeah, anytime there's a net metering, policy change, anytime there's a tax credit change, I remember back when we had a PG&E rebate, all that did was drive huge numbers. So whether you're setting appointments or selling solar, mindset is everything. And your mindset should be seeing dollar signs when you're knocking doors and talking to people, because all this does is help you make your job easier, where people are, moving to set appointments, moving to get solar sooner rather than later because they want to get in on this, right? And even if you're selling leases and PPAs, you can use that to create urgency too, because we don't know what's going to happen with leases and PPAs with the commercial tax credit. We think we do, but it's not done yet, right? So create urgency around all of the above with all of the ways to pay for solar.
Love it, Carlos and Tom. Can't agree more. Jonathan Charles Wilson closed 5 to 6 deals in the last 40 days because he just got fired up around urgency. He heard a little training from Mike O'Donnell, how to drive urgency in the home every single time. And whether it's the tariffs, the price hikes next month, the interest rates, lock in this before domestic content. It's up to us as business owners to create that. We're not working at a job like Sunrun making pennies on the dollar, where they give you the menu and everything you need. So it's up to us as business owners to create that urgency. And I just think that's so important. Whether it's a promotion, a rebate, price hikes with tariffs next month. We all know that the prices like increase a little bit, but just use that as a promotion. It's not lying. So yeah, drive that urgency, especially with this tax credit right now.
Tax credits, tariffs, summer electric bills. We've got a solar storm that's on us right now.
And these lease PPAs with batteries, I mean, there's government funds paying for these lease PPAs, getting it to you at no cost. You're not paying 40 grand for the installation, and you get to save money with battery replacement. We don't know how long this is going to last. We've already helped a few of the neighbors, right? So like, it's just creative urgency.